We are coming live every Tuesday, and I do not see us live on my channel right now. So I'm just confirming with the team, the back end team, if it is up because it says we're not. Oh, yes, we are. Okay, never mind. So hello, everybody. This is Neil with Portal to Ascension. So glad to be here with you all. This is the Portal to Ascension show, and we went live last week, and we're now going consistently live every Tuesday for quite some time. Joan of Angels, as a lot of you know, who were probably tuning in last week or checked out some of the recent videos, was actually here with me at in the Yucatan Peninsula, and we did our first broadcast together for the show straight from here. And now we're going to keep going. And then when I'm not going to be able to be on here anymore, we're still going to actually have Joan of Angels coming in and interviewing some amazing speakers. But today's show is kind of a little different. It's we're going to have a lot of people that are coming up from upcoming events that are going to be joining us in the future. But today we're here with the core team, two people that are really dear to my heart. And this is an open discussion just about the journeys that we're all on together and all the events that we're going to be curating and all the excitement that we have in store for you guys. So firstly, I'm going to go ahead and bring on Joan of Angels, who is my good friend, great friend that you've probably seen quite some time now on our channel. And I hope at this point you've been introduced to her. If you haven't been introduced to her fully yet, don't worry. In December, we're going to do a full-on interview going deep into Joan's life and journey. And I got to say, even though I feel like I should have brought her up by now, but I got to keep talking here because I got to say that when she was down here, we're great friends, but we had the opportunity to road trip for like 5 hours, two different times, right? And we got to have really in-depth conversations about our life, our journey, asking all random types of questions, about past relationships, blah, 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 and all that stuff. And we really got to know each other that much more. And as Joan said, it was meant to be for us to create this connection for all the things that we're going to be doing together, some of which that we're going to share today. So let me go ahead and bring on Joan. Hey, Joan.
Hey, Neil. I always love your introductions. I think I'm going to make a video of all the clips of you introducing me because it brings such happiness to me. It really does. And that trip was fantastic. And because of that, I just want to share a couple of things. I was guided today to pull out a deck that I'm going to read from, the Sacred Traveler deck, before we go. And it was kind of funny because Omar started mentioning wanting to travel too. So we are all on a sacred journey, and it's wonderful to be able to share mentors and guides who are on this journey as well, and then to share our thoughts and feelings about that. So I've been really excited to share with people how to step into their own gifts, how to remember who they are, and to really master what they came here to do, and really be of service and use all those gifts and tools they've been given. And so
when you're saying that right now, I just want to just interject really quick. Can you speak to everybody about the program in which you're offering that actually provides this service? Because we're offering like sessions, 30-minute sessions, hour-long sessions, but now you're offering extended coaching programs to really help people go deep with that. So can you maybe touch on that a little bit, Joan?
I can, and I appreciate your asking that. So I've been doing readings for people for years. And one of the things that I have found from my readings is that, oh God, we open up so many cans of worms, and who can handle 100 all those different tracks in our life that need to be focused on. So I began to work with several people. We developed an ongoing 6-month coaching program. Let's say stage 1 is 6 months, where we start to look at all the different aspects of where you're going, why you're here, what's in the way, and then we break it down and we raise your frequency, raise the vibration, we clear away so that you can help transcend. You can help start to express your creativity and who you are in the world. So the Soul Mastery coaching takes you from where you are now to where you want to go, and it gets you into that direction, gives you your bigger picture and mission and purpose. And that is my big enchilada right now. That is the program that I'm really excited about, that, along with my intuition class, which has everything you need to get started to trust your gut and be an intuitive. So We'll put the links below for all that. You'll find it on my site, guys.
And let me just
All
jump
right,
in here, Joan,
let's
that
just
I've
jump in. And,
actually, oh no, I said, let me jump in about what you just said, just to kind of
oh,
bring some closure
yeah.
to it. That I've actually received a lot of sessions from Joan because she's my friend and has assisted me in a lot of ways. So if you're looking, if you have, I know a lot of you have commented on how incredible Joan is and the fact that you love her and that she's, you get excited and put it in the chat when she's on our broadcast and the conference. If you want to, just work with her, get a session, or do this program, go check out our website and see what's there available for you. Okay, so that's joanofangels.com, right?
Yep, it's right
Okay,
there.
all right,
I
let's do it.
appreciate that, Neil. I appreciate that so much, guys. And I love Neil. I love all of you. It's a great opportunity to get to know you. All right, let's just take a deep breath, everyone. And that's right. We're taking a deep breath and we're letting it all out. And let's just take another deep breath. And let it all out. And I think we're going to take one more. Taking that deep breath in and letting it all out, sending our roots down to the earth. Mother, Father, God, we are so grateful right now to be in the presence of all of us, of all of you out there, of all of our spiritual team, our guides, our angels, our star being friends. The list goes greater as we are being surrounded by these beings of light that are with us as we are all on our own spiritual journey to mastery, to ascension, to that which is the all. And as a part of that, we're going to pull the card, and this is an amazing card, Mystic Healer. Healing energy flows through you now. And so just rub your hands together to anchor that in and feel that healing energy between your hands and send it out to us with your right hand. Send it out to Omar and Neil and I. And with your left hand, receive that energy that we are sending through to you and know that we are all part of this collective. And so what is going to happen today for all of us is that feeling, that new energy of being healed, of being restored and renewed. And there we have it. All right. And be sure, by the way, guys, to like and subscribe and share the channels, my channel, Neil's channel, Omar's channel, and Tina's going to be putting them up for you too, so we can share all this energy out with the world. Okay, perfect. So now we're going to bring on Omar. Neil, is there anything you want to say about Omar?
Yeah, do you want me to do the official introduction, or do you want to
You
say some
do,
stuff?
yeah, you do the official introduction.
All
Let's do
right,
it.
all right, all right.
He deserves it.
So Omar from Watchers Talk TV has been. Let me just start how we first connected, and I told Joan actually about this while we were down here because it was actually at a really tangible moment for me. I don't know if you remember where I was, Omar, when we had the first call, you, me, and Leo, but I was out. I just got done. It was day 10 of my 10-day silent meditation retreat. On day 10, you're allowed to go out and actually use your phone. So I went to my car, and after 10 days of silence, every time I go to these things, I just can't help but just work before I even leave the retreat because I'm just like so excited about things, right? So I get to the thing, and as soon as I switch my phone on after 10 days of not talking, my friend Peter calls me and says, "Hey, I know there's two people that run this Ancient Aliens group, and they have a podcast. I want to talk to you. Are you free to talk to them?" And we hadn't even had breakfast yet to leave this retreat center, and I got in the hill where it's the only place that you could have because it was in the woods of the Sequoia National Forest. So there's a hill that had signal. And I remember you were the first person I spoke to in 10 days of silence. I don't know if I've ever told you this. And so I had that tangible experience that actually grew from there. We started, I came on the show multiple times. I came on Omar's show. He branched off and did his own thing. Really, he had been doing it before, but really started curating and cultivating Watchers Talk, in which it is a show, a podcast, a platform that is now also creating events that are designed to assist us in all aspects of really uncovering the truth of who we are and our ancient history and the nature of reality. And at this point, he's become really good friends with myself and also with Joan. We've had him on multiple shows. You've definitely seen him on Portal to Ascension if you've been tuning into this broadcast at all. And we've just grown really fond of each other, I would say. And at this point, We are just coming up with ideas and schemes in the most conscious way in order to really create more and more epic productions for you all. So I'm excited to have him on here as one of the first shows that Joan and I are doing together. That are it's really going to not only talk about Omar, and I guess we'll talk about your life too, brother, because I didn't even think about that, but also what we're going to be creating together. So welcome, Omar.
Hey, thanks, brother. That was beautiful. Really appreciate that introduction. And no, you never told me that story before on coming to the retreat and speaking with myself and Leo. That's pretty cool. I was at a pretty different moment in my life as well at that time. I was kind of transitioning from the idea of physical UFOs into more
Mm-hmm.
consciousness, and then that's when I came across you, and I was like, oh wow, and started following your work. And I was like, this guy's amazing. He's absolutely amazing. And then from that point on, we've just become brothers and just worked a lot together and learned so much off of you and off your platform and truly appreciate it. It's just the way the universe is, right? It interjects at key moments in life and introduces you to people that you're connected to, in a far bigger reach than just this physicality and this cyclical time that we're in,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it is, and it's a process that we're following, and it's beautiful. I love it, and I'm looking forward to hopefully coming down to Mexico and hanging out with you for like a year and just chill with my cats.
Yes, exactly. Thank you, brother.
We're
I
going to
feel the same
start a
way.
revolution. We're all
Hmm.
going to be leaving and going down to Mexico.
Well, we're
Yes,
gonna
right.
create. I'm gonna get land somewhere, and we're gonna create a huge community slash compound. And I feel like a lot of the homies are gonna be there. So we'll
Yeah, I
see.
like it.
Hmm.
So before we get into this, Neil, I was just looking over your channel and I noticed that you have a join button. What's that all about?
All right. Yes. Thanks for asking. So I just actually added that a couple of days ago, and now this is the first time I'm announcing it. Actually, I just got approved for it 2 days ago, and basically, you can now subscribe to this channel, and the information we have, all the content that we have, and we've been putting out, it's not going to slow down. It's going to be the same full speed ahead momentum almost every single day. Something's coming out, but we're now adding all because believe it or not, we have like 10,000 extra hours besides what's on our YouTube channel. So now I'm going to be adding full conferences, like the Starseed Summit that was just done, the Activating Conscious Evolution conference that was just done. Those two conferences alone are 50 hours of footage. And then full on presentations. A lot of the things that we put on YouTube are clips, 15-minute, 40-minute, 1 hour long clips of 3 hour long events. And you can actually join and subscribe to the channel, and it will be your place to really get the other content too. So going to be adding more and more. Within the next month or so, there'll probably be another 50 to 100 hours of content. So if you guys are interested, you can go ahead and click join and take your awareness of our productions to the next level.
Wow.
Right on.
Yeah.
That's exciting to hear, to be able to deepen your journey with
Hmm.
that. And also, aren't you now also available on Telegram? I think
Yes.
both of you have Telegram channels.
Yeah, we both have it. Omar, what's your Telegram?
It's Watchers Talk on Telegram.
Yeah, and
Just
mine's
Watchers
Portal to
Talk
Ascension.
anywhere. You can go to Facebook or Instagram, Twitter, whatever. It's always Watchers Talk.
Hmm.
And
Nothing else.
how did you get that name, Omar? Can I ask you, like, where that comes from?
It was just an accident.
No
I
accidents.
was I was in a Facebook group a few years back, and this is like really at the peak of my attention. I would say at the peak of my self unawareness, right? When I really, I was at the bottom of the barrel, and I was looking to climb out, and it was just that one peak where I was traveling from Alberta to BC, and somebody added me to a Facebook group. And before then, I had no idea that there were even Facebook groups. And so I got added to this group, and then when I landed at the gas station, I kind of looked at it and I started going through it, and I saw things in it that I resonated with. I was like, hey, wait a minute, I know about this stuff. I've been reading about this stuff for forever now, right? I can't believe there's people talking about this kind of stuff. So I joined the group and began making comments on the articles I read and started sharing some of the things that I learned from reading. And next thing you know, the guy made me the admin of that group, and I was like, well, okay. So I rolled with that for a little bit, but I just didn't like the power struggle that was happening within this conscious community behind the scenes with the leadership. So I thought I'm just going to leave and try to start my group with a friend I met. And we were sitting there, we're talking, and we're like, well, what should we call ourselves, right? And she's like, well, we're always watching things and learning things and talking about things. And I was like, well, there we go. How about we go with the name Watchers, and not
That's
really
hilarious.
understanding the back history to the word Watchers, right?
Oh, no idea.
So I was
Right.
like, okay, Watchers it is. And then and then a few months later, I thought, okay, well, let's make the group even better by creating a podcast where we can bring researchers and stuff up that are part of the group, and we can interview them and talk to them. And we'll call it Watchers Talk because now we're talking instead of watching, and that's kind of how the name came about. And then the channel kind of stayed stagnant for a good year and a half because my mind wasn't expanded as much, right? So for me, it was just Facebook. I'll just live stream to Facebook, and that was it. And kind of had this YouTube channel, but not really. And then a few years ago, I thought, okay, well, I'm going to do something with this channel because I kept getting blocked on Facebook and censored and just having to deal with that. So I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to stop streaming to Facebook altogether, and I'm just concentrate on YouTube. And so that's what I did, and really moved along. And in the beginning, it was like all about UFOs and stuff, right? And aliens and kind of what have you. But then, my ideas began to change, and I came across Michael Tallinger's um, video where he's talking about sound and vibration, and I thought, hey, wow, this is amazing. So I watched that one for a couple of times, and it was soon after that I came across Neil. Neil called me up, and he's like, hey, we got to talk to this guy Neil and Peter from PortalToAscension. And I was like, who? And and I went to look at PortalToAscension. I was like, hoo-wah, this is amazing. Look at all the content that it has, and that was it. And then here I am. Right, kind of just expanded, left the UFO thing behind. Kind of really, I'm not really, have too much of an interest in that now. I'm more basically interested in consciousness and sound and vibration and frequency
Mm-hmm.
and mostly consciousness. And now my point right now is on like the zero point zero dimension where it's nothing because everything manifests out of nothing. And this is kind of where the road has taken me, right, on my journey on understanding consciousness, more so trying to understand myself, because the more I can understand my consciousness and my internal, then that's going to get projected externally, and then I'll be able to control that external, because right now I can't control what's happening really beyond myself, right? Because I haven't yet finished programming the matrix in front of me in what I need to do, and I'm just learning how to hold intentions and things like that, right? Because before I wasn't really fully aware of it, but now that I'm getting a handle on the understanding of how consciousness works, it's I'm doing experiments now. So that's
Yeah,
kind
and
of
you're on the fast track too because you have like since I think it was 5 6 years ago we connected.
yeah,
Like,
about that.
and like you whenever you remind me and you tell me that you were into the nuts and bolts UFOs, then I like completely have a realization of whoa, like because when a lot of people reach out to me and they ask to interview me, I already automatically assume that they're into doing this stuff. But then what you discovered was the bridge between the UFO world and realizing that it is consciousness, extraterrestrial, interdimensional energy, and all that stuff. And you've been on a fast track of really like uncovering all of that awareness. And it's just been beautiful, really, to see you like just grasping this understanding. But I'm curious, before when you went to the UFOs, like how does religion play into your life? Did you ever have religion a part of your life? Did you even think about spirituality, vibration, or anything like that before you really got into this awareness?
Well, that's a bit of a long story. I was raised, like yourself, Neil. You were raised into the Hindu culture, and myself, I was raised into the Islamic culture, and so we have that parallel as to culturally speaking, right? And for me, it was I left the religion at about the age of 13, 12, 13, and up until then, right, for me it was like doing 3 4 prayers a day, and doing the Friday prayer, doing my Ramadan, fasting for 30 days, celebrating Eid, things like that. And I really didn't have any of this in mind. And it's just by accident that one day I was in my school library in grade 5 when I was about 10 years old, and I came across Chariots of the Gods, and I began reading that, and I took it home and I read that, and then came back to school, went home, read some more, and
Well, what
after
age was this? Tell me the age
this
again.
was 1985.
Oh wow.
1985, 1986, yeah, just about there, 1985, because I moved to Canada from Denmark in '85. So it was about '86 that I came across that book, and by about I would say about '87 to '88, I'd really begun questioning on what I was doing, because I began asking my dad, who is it that I'm praying to? Tell me more about him. So he would give me the dogma of the situation, and that was really it. Couldn't really answer any questions, and because he couldn't answer any questions, in my mind, I thought, well, if he doesn't understand what he's worshiping, then I don't need to worship anything. I don't need to get on my knees anymore, because I felt belittled when every time I got on my knees and bowed my head. And for me, I just didn't feel well even when I was doing it. So, I gave that up when I was like 12, 13. And then through circumstances, I just never had the opportunity to really engage with that Islamic, religious side of me, and just really became assimilated into the Western culture. And then that's kind of where I kind of remained, right? And I stayed there stagnant like that for many years. And then while I was doing some time, I came across David Icke, and I began reading his stuff, and that really opened up my eyes, but not to the point of like really opening up my eyes. I just kind of blinked and closed them again really fast, and then I just stayed there until I would say about 2007, 2008.
Mhm.
And then at that time I met Amy, and then just months after meeting Amy, my mind just like fully expanded, because for the first time in my life in decades I was getting unconditional love. And because I was getting that, it allowed me the opportunity to really expand in my own mind and in the comfortability of my own consciousness. But really, even at that time, I didn't understand my consciousness. I didn't even know that I actually had a consciousness until a few years later, when I began to understand David Icke, when he kept talking about consciousness, 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 your point of attention, you're this, you're that. And so I really began to look at that, and I ended up reading all of his stuff and watching all his videos, followed his website, and I really learned about what he was talking about. And then from there, I just moved on. Right, I began listening to Sadhguru and Ohisho, and what's his name, Alan um,
What?
Alan Watts, and just a lot of philosophers like that. Because when I'm editing videos, I have them playing in the background in YouTube, and I'm subconsciously taking in information. And then when
Hmm.
I daydream, I try to expand on that in my mind to try to understand what he's saying in relation to what he's saying to me, because I feel like they're speaking to me, and that way I need to correct or align myself or center myself to whatever it is that I'm listening to. On I don't even call it spiritual, more like mysticism on a mystic side, because I don't really buy into that religious stuff. Right, for me it's a program, and we shouldn't get trapped into that. We should follow our own essence and our own consciousness and our own thought. and be under no one's servitude or no thing's servitude. There's nothing that's bigger than us, right? As individuals, as consciousness, there's nothing bigger than that. So,
That's
to bow
beautifully
down
said.
to, yeah, that would be
There's,
like us, worshiping a monkey, right? It just makes no sense, right? Because a
yeah,
monkey is
yeah,
not
yeah,
bigger than us,
Right.
right? We are the top of the food chain.
yeah.
I'm
John,
always surprised. I don't see spirituality and religion connected in a sense. So, because I haven't come to it from that point of view
but
of
a lot of
religion.
religious people call what they do spiritual, and it's because you're not religious, So
Right,
it's this and that.
right. So that's very, very interesting. So
I think
both of
they're just
you.
confused. I think they're just
Mhm.
confused when they talk about religion and spirituality.
Yeah.
They think one is the same, and it's just their ignorance. Really,
The,
that's all it is. Because they think that God is spiritual, right? That's the problem.
yeah,
Is
yeah,
Right, that's the propaganda. That
yeah,
that is exactly the propaganda that they have given to us so that we wouldn't look beyond. We would just worship, obey, and follow their orders. But one of the things I love about Portal to Ascension, by the way, and Watchers Talk, is that we're breaking down myths. We're breaking down, what they're telling us is true and understanding that that's not true. Truth comes from our own connection, whether it to be the star beings or the gods or our own guides. So I love that when we go through to ascension, we actually have to break down our beliefs that are holding us back, our religious beliefs.
yeah. The
If you have
way I like to, when people ask me what I am, and in this world, we all identify with labels. Most people do anyway. So when people ask me what I am, like they try to figure me out. What I come up with is this phrase: I'm a non-dogmatic spiritualist.
oh, nice. I like
a
that.
That explains it all.
non-dogmatic spiritualist. I love that. Oh my God. Okay, we can adopt that. A non-dogmatic
Don't
spiritualist.
follow any doctrine, and what you said about like nothing beyond us. So a lot of people would have an aversion to that, but then like let's break it down because a lot of people, even in the spiritual community, they say, well, we got to just understand everything beyond ourselves, something else beyond, and that's what's said in religion too. But the fact is, we are the one, and the one is all. So you can say it in that way where there's nothing beyond us, and not it's not a limiting term. It just means you are all that is. It's the only thing is that we've just forgotten it, and it's really just about remembering our divinity. And the more of us that remember our connection and constantly focus our intention on being connected, then we will always, and if we embody that confidence of being like one with everything, then I feel we have much more of an opportunity to live in peace on earth.
Yeah, absolutely. I like
You're
that. I
right.
usually say I'm a point of attention within the infinite stream of consciousness. I don't try to engage myself with any containers, any identities, and for me to be centered and aligned, I can't identify myself with any one thing, because the moment you identify with one thing, you're creating a container, and that's the container of your intellect, and it's only going to take you to a certain level of understanding, and then you'll be stuck within that container, repeating that loop again and again and again, and not really understanding and diminishing your human experience. So I try not to, say anything of like what I am beyond the point of like that I'm just a point of attention within the stream of consciousness, and that's it. I'm a projection of you as you're a projection of me. Like one becomes the whole becomes the one.
That's
And
how you came up with the projection of you. I was just wondering what is behind a projection of you? And now you have kind of shared that. Well, religion is kind of interesting. It does tend to put us in boxes, the same kind of boxes politics puts us in, or our points of view about, our health and health freedom. So there's a lot of boxes, I suppose, that we have to navigate in this life.
just think of those containers as really sharp knives. and you're cutting yourself with those knives each and every single day. Every time you identify with that certain identity, right? When you say, I'm a asexual or I am a heterosexual, right? You're
Right.
putting yourself into a very limited container, and the information within that container is limited, and then you'll respond emotionally to that container or to that identity. And then if you have
Mhm.
compounded identities on top of identities, you'll respond emotionally to those. And every time you respond emotionally, those are going to be negative emotions, because anytime, usually 99% of the time when people talk, they're going to challenge your beliefs and challenge your ideas. And then when somebody challenges your ideas and beliefs, that creates that dense negative energy, because people only know how to respond negatively, right? So when they do that, they create that density among for themselves, and then thus they make themselves sick, right? Because that density, that energy is going to express itself, and it's going to express itself through pain and agony within your own avatar. It's like you're just making it sick every time you identify and respond to an identity, right? So what is anybody's business if I'm an asexual or a heterosexual, or if I'm a Democrat, or whether I'm a laborist, like who cares? Because that's not what I am, right? I am, an expression of consciousness that's here to have this vacation, this human 5 sense vacation, because in my natural sense, I can't raise my arm, but I have the memory of raising my arm. But here in this physicality and the cyclical life that I am interacting with, I have an arm to do things with. I can catch a ball and I can sense all of those things, and that's a vacation from the self. Because imagine, how long you've been, in your form of energy. It could be like trillions of years, because you have knowledge of everything within you. You've been like that for trillions upon trillions of years, and you get this opportunity to take this physical form of a human, or a monkey or a cat. Just enjoy that, be that, right? Because nature is just, it is that way, right? And nature's left us alone to experience this human experience, because the human being is not an established state, right? An animal is an established state. A cat is an established state. The reason it's an established state, because it doesn't desire to be anything more than the cat, right? So the human state is unestablished, and nature has left us that way because, you know, physically we've evolved to the point of being this absolute perfect piece of machinery in the universe, right? But people haven't read the manual to this machine. But as a human being within, we want to be more, right? An animal can eat and is sufficient and is good, is content, it'll go to sleep. But a human being, when we eat food, the most is going to happen is that we're just going to grow a little bit sideways, and that's it. But we still have that thirst and that desire within to be something more, right? And then that's the free will that we have, that nature has left us to be. That's why we're not an established state. We can become whatever it is that we want, because we're infinite possibilities. But people just don't are not aware of it, right? Because they haven't read the manual to this, biological mechanism that they're driving
Mhm.
around in, right? And I
Oh,
think
Part of that is also that we've also been told by institutions, and it's all good. It's meant to be like that for now, but now it's time to change it. But the institutions that have told us we are this established state, that's what we are. I just watched an hour and a half long documentary yesterday while I was taking a bus drive across the peninsula on Confucius, and I realized I thought all of his concepts were completely distorted for today in order to make it that people follow and are in alignment with authority. And all I ever heard was Confucius says this, he was a philosopher. So I gave him all this credit. And then I looked
right.
into his life hardcore and I was like, well, yeah, he was at a time where there was a lot of chaos, a lot of wars going on in every state. And he wanted to show people how they can be really good people without violence, right? So he started teaching kids how to be good little kids. Basically, good kids should be seen but not heard, kind of thing. You don't, and now in China, for example, is the Confucius revival, and every morning, children and entire institutes, organizations recite his sayings like children should be doing this, we should be doing that, kids don't act bad, we don't act out, and it was all this amazing information completely distorted in order to create a controlled state, you know. So, and that's part of like tying that into what you just said, Omar, that we have become we have basically brainwashed ourselves or been brainwashed to believe we're an established state. You should be doing
Yes.
this, you should be going to school in order to get ready for this. You know, why do they call prep school? Because they're prepping you for what the established state they want you to be in is, you know. So it's like we need to we are let me say we are those kind of programming seem to be fading away. There are some countries where it's still like as prevalent as ever, you know. But I'm hopeful that we're at a phase now that humanity as a whole are going to be getting to that point where we're realizing that we're so much more than what we've been told that we are, so much more than what we've been brainwashed. Imagine if you were brainwashed or unbrainwashed to say things that were affirming your infinite potential from a child rather than, you know,
Yes.
don't express
Yeah.
yourself, don't express yourself, you know.
Yes. You
Hmm.
know, I love this, what you're saying, Neil, because as Omar was speaking, I was thinking, okay, I affirm that I am a star being. I have infinite potential. I'm a higher dimensional frequency being. So I know that in my own consciousness, I try to go beyond the confines. And when you start to think of yourself as a star being or as a higher dimensional being, then suddenly that's the difference of 3D and 5D. There's no limits to what you can do, be, or accomplish, or how you feel about yourself when that happens. So, and
Hmm.
I love the teachings that we've been doing with Portal to Ascension, which teach us how to be more than this physical body,
Yeah.
and in so
Reclaim your
many different ways.
sovereignty and think for yourself. Like, you know, like
Huge.
there, I would say everything on Portal to Ascension comes with like really tune into whether this information is works for you, because we're not saying anything is definite. In actual fact, nothing is definite.
Right.
All experiences, all experiences are valid, and as I've said multiple times recently, I don't even know how fractalized we are from the original source code. You know, and even if someone thinks that they're tapping into source, who knows if that's just a fractalized version of what really is beyond that. And maybe I even resonate with information that there are certain oversoul groups that are collective souls of galaxies, and that oversoul group actually like multiple galaxies, and that oversoul acts like the godhead that acts like the direct source, and almost everybody thinks they're talking to direct source, but it's actually just an oversoul group of a number of galaxies. And then it goes into the next oversoul group of local clusters of universes, and then it goes into the whole multiverse and the source of the multiverse. So that right there is humbling to me, which is why I'll never say this is the truth, because all we're trying to do is explore the truth. And something that, you know, someone told me once is, and that parents I think should tell their kids, is that we're all just trying to figure it out, you know.
Right, right. It's not written in stone. We actually don't know. Look, years ago they thought the earth was flat. Then it came out that the earth was round. Now people think it's flat again. Things change according to our circumstances. Well, they do. A lot of people think that the earth is flat. It's a big trend as well. But years ago, you know, you could lose your head if you said the earth was round when they were saying it's flat. So there's been a lot of motivation to not explore, but I love that what's happening in this. I don't know if it's the Aquarian age or exactly, but you know, this need to know more now is so compelling, and I know for our audience as well, they just really want to know
Hmm.
everything. So I talked to my
Curiosity.
friend Avon. I never thought that I'd walk around with an extraterrestrial by my side, and knowing that you know he's communicating to me.
You know, for myself, I don't think that we're fractalized from the source consciousness, because you know, we're all an expression of that same experience, the same consciousness. You know, when we look at consciousness, we can sum it up to like experience, because that's what consciousness is. right? It's a field of information, or it's all experiences compacted into one thing, and then from one thing, from that one ball, we're just like little pieces of that very same thing. We're just an
So let me
expression.
ask you a question then, Omar. When I say that, if you were able to tap into that first, let's say, fractalization of a local cluster of galaxies, you'll probably be able to tell me every being that exists within those areas, what they're doing, what their messages are. So, and if you can't, then you are connected to everything, but you aren't able to tap into that actual consciousness. And
Hmm.
then
I see
there's
what you're
probably
saying.
something beyond that. There's dimensions. Dimensions exist. Those are vibratory frequencies. You exist within a bandwidth. That bandwidth is a fractalization. You can only see a certain frequency range. You can only hear a certain frequency range. Those are quantified truths. So that is a fractalization. We're truly not fractalized, but the paradox is that the only way to gain this experience on Earth, where we regain our memories, is to experience this fractalization. It's like, okay, for example, that computer game that I'm playing does not have a vending machine in it. That's just a bunch of ones and zeros. You know what I mean? But I'm seeing the computer game and I'm able to interact with that vending machine. You know what I mean? So,
Hmm.
and we've had this conversation a few times now, that it's not just one, it's this and that. So just to say that we're not fractalized because we're always connected is also true. But the fact is, this physical reality is true. And the reason why we're going to hang out in Mexico is because you and I actually do exist and we're
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
have fun together. You know what I mean? So,
But when we, what I'm saying is that when we look at consciousness as like a whole, as an experience, right?
mhm,
All of it, the entire experience of all is happening at the very same time, right? Regardless of which dimension it is, because
yeah.
if we are that consciousness is existing in all of those levels of dimensions and densities and clusters and kind of what have you. It just could be that within the field of consciousness, within that field of information, there's, how can you say it? Like there's been bubbles that are blown, right?
Mhm,
Where, if you blow a bubble, right, a bubble will only get so big, and then after that, that bubble will blow up, right? And then from there, that's kind of, would create a bubble, and there's that intelligence in there, or that awareness, and then there's those bubbles and clusters. I can see something like that happening, right? But in my mind, this galaxy and this universe, and and the multiverse, and all of these, right, are all happening within that very same consciousness, because space in itself doesn't exist. Only time exists, right? Space only exists because there's time, right? Otherwise, space wouldn't exist. If there was no time, there would be no space. So time exists because we're, you know, interacting with it, we're moving forward with it, and we're involving ourselves with that consciousness. And when I look at this universe and the space that's in it, like for me, that space doesn't exist, right?
mhm,
Whatever, all these planets and kind of what have you, is a holographic, simulation within that field of information of
right.
everything. And we choose to interact with it because we're a unique bandwidth,
Mhm,
right? That if you look at it, on an equalizer, and you have all those lines moving up and down within that same frequency, right? I'm just that one little unique blip within that frequency, and I don't know if I'm
yeah,
making sense.
I'm resonant 100%. Yeah, I really resonate with the whole holographic component of reality, and I feel that just through the understanding of quantum reality and quantum physics, and how everything is vibration and nothing that is solid actually exists. And quick detour plug: I'm going to be doing 2 sound frequency events on the YouTube channel Thursday and Friday for everybody who wants to get into that topic there. But just that right there, we pierce through the veil of the fact that all things are united and all interconnected. And even though, like, let's just say this quantum physics, there's an agenda behind the conventional mainstream quantum physics. So when I say that, all I'm talking about is the science of the subatomic world. The science of the subatomic world has now proven mathematically that exactly what you're saying is true. All things are just part of one energy source, no dimension, no difference, no anything, right? So, and as we understand that more and more, we get to the point where teachers like yourself now to teach us the art of nothing, right? Because we're understanding that and we're able to quantify it scientifically. So I agree with you.
Since we're on
It's a
that
little above me.
sound bit here, you have a book that you're working on for sound as well, right? To submit your stories. Tell us about that a little
Yes.
bit, Neil.
So the reason why I'm doing three. Okay, Thursday at 2 p.m. Pacific, Friday at 2 p.m. Pacific, Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific, I'm going live with nonstop sound awareness. Thursday and Friday, I'm doing two-hour presentations. One's going to be ancient sites and sound frequency. The next one's going to be quantum physics and the science of sound consciousness. And then the last day is going to be an interview with the person I'm writing a book for. And the whole reason I'm doing these presentations and just giving it out to the world is that I am actually I'm actually going to be in 3 books this year. I just submitted my chapters for 2 books, but the third one is a really unique project in which I am like the main author. Basically, I'm going to write about ancient frequencies and structures and science of sound. But then we have 25 other people that can submit their stories on the tangible experiences with sound frequency. So if you want to be if you want to be an author, sign right up. If you don't want to be an author, but you just want to share your story and see maybe it'll help impact other people because thousands of people are going to read it, sign up as well. And I'm not going to share screen right now and show you the details on it. I'll do that Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But the reason why I'm doing that is I'm trying to get like four to 10,000 people, hopefully, through our YouTube channel to watch these videos, so that at least 20 of you plus will go to the website and submit an 800-word article to 1,500 words on your tangible experience with sound. It can be oh my god, I was at the Great Pyramid and I started humming and all of a sudden the lights turn on, or like there was vibration, because that actually happened in a Mexican pyramid where somebody was harmonizing and then all of a sudden the reflections, the sound turned into light and the reflections started bouncing off the pyramids, creating this luminescence, right? So that's the story. I went to a sound healing event and I had a past life experience. That's a sound healing story. Um, I went to a sound bed and somebody played quantum frequencies on my body. I went to a right frequency machine and touched the right frequency machine, and now my cancer's gone to remission. These are all actual stories. So if you have any story or range of frequency experiences, because guess what, guys? All things are vibration. So every story you ever have had something to do with vibration. So if you guys want to submit your story, I'm going to go in detail on it Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, send you all the info and help me finish this book. I have until December 31st to actually get all the submissions in. And 9 of the people who submit, you can upgrade the package. Everybody can submit for free and get chosen if they want to be in the book. But if you want to be on the book as an author, that's a whole separate thing. Like you can actually, your name could be on the front cover and all that stuff too. But yeah, I'll tell you guys more about it later. Thanks for asking me
I
that, bro.
think that's a wonderful opportunity, guys. And your sound stuff is really amazing. And Neil was teaching me how to tone the other night when we were over a cup of kava, actually, is when he was teaching me how to tone. So it's going to be really
Oh yeah,
fun.
that was pretty cool. I didn't realize that the cup of kava just makes it even more symbolic now.
Well, it does, yeah. So we were toning.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that tomorrow with the Crystal Skulls interview that we're
Oh,
doing tomorrow.
let's talk about that. Omar, are you going to join us for that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Love
so we
to.
can have a discussion. So,
Yeah, I'd love
Joan, why
to.
don't you tell us about it?
All right, so we have the privilege of interviewing and meeting with a beautiful woman, Shabati, who is a crystal skull keeper, and she explained to us the story of how the crystal skull came to her. I think that's what we have on tape. It was really profound because it wasn't like one day she woke up and said, "I'm going to be a crystal skull keeper. Let me go and buy a skull." It was a process of her being trained to step into the energy, and it took several years until she and the skull came together. So we managed to do a fantastic interview with her, and both Neil and I had a personal experience with the skull that we'll tell you about. I had an activation, and and this is a prelude to the conference that we're going to do next year in 2022. So we're pulling together a group of crystal skull keepers that we feel is going to really like lift your vibration tremendously. I think just being in the presence of the crystal skull. So what you're going to see tomorrow, I think, will even activate you wherever you are.
Yeah, so that's going to be tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific time. We're going to be here together in this format again. And because this StreamYard platform is pretty awesome, we're going to get to like play the video and comment on it at the same time. Pause it, say things, jump in on it, talk about the experience. And I deliberately made the video 33 minutes and 33 seconds. So I cut the interview right off at 33 minutes, 33 seconds because she was pretty much done right at that point anyway. So we're going to have probably like an hour long discussion, just talk about it and, have a little discussion. It'll be fun.
I'll send you the link, Omar, so you can be a part of it. So
Yeah,
so
perfect.
we
Thank
have a
you.
lot of other new exciting. The other thing that Neil and I worked on down in South America, not South America, I guess my fantasy is South America,
Central.
but we weren't even in Central America. We were in Mexico, but we worked on the Kundalini event as well. So we have some fascinating events coming up on working with power and energy and consciousness, expansion of consciousness.
Yeah.
So yeah,
One of my
people.
favorite events that we're working on, event that I'm really excited about, is the ET races, extraterrestrial races, planets, and technology conference, and that's going to be in
Nice.
March of next year. And we already got all the speakers for that: Mary Rodwell, Barbara Lamb, Dan Winter, Adam Apollo, Geraldine Orozco, and I think one or two more people. And there is a replay for everything we do because I just saw that comment pop up there. Yes, for everything we do is unlimited, infinite replay access for as long as the internet continues to go.
Right. So there's a caveat. It may not be forever because it may evolve to a new dimension, and then we're going to all be sitting up there in a different dimension. Like when I go on Portal to Ascension and I do some of the opening stuff, I feel like we're all getting on a large spaceship. We're in the convention center on this particular spaceship, and we're all taking off together for an adventure
Yes.
and it's an adventure into consciousness. So that is going to be a great one, especially because you were so adamant about making sure it was the races, the planets, and the technology. So it's
Yeah.
like very specific. It's not just channeling, you know, it's really much more
Right.
specific.
So let me just add to that, and then we're going to close up in a bit here. So I want Omar to also talk about what he's doing at the beginning of the year. I don't know if you already had some thoughts about it yet, but so the reason why, because we've done UFO disclosure conferences, I've done like 6 or 7 of them. Some of them have been 2 or 3 day long, right? So that's like really in the nuts and bolts. But even in the nuts and bolts, we can't help but just throw consciousness in there. There's always something about spirituality and the consciousness. And then we've done full on spiritual extraterrestrial information, like the Starseed Summit that we just did. So I really want to like get really practical with this awareness as well. So who are those? Oh yeah, Alex Collier is going to be on it as well. And so who are those people that maybe say that they've been to these planets and actually have stories of different planets? I want to know. Who are those people that say that they've interacted with the technology of extraterrestrials? I want to know. And who is the person, Dan Winter, that is theoretically working on propulsion systems that can help us get to other stars? That's what we're doing for this event. And who has regressed people to their lives as extraterrestrials and have all this information about what they did on those planets, Barbara Lamb
Right.
and Ray
Right.
Rodwell.
That's
So we're gonna go. It's gonna be really actually. It was on my list for 3 years, guys. And a lot of my conferences, a lot of conferences I do, believe it or not, are literally on my extra long to do list for 3 to 4 years before they manifest. Right. That's how far in the future I have events planned out. Right. So it's gonna be a really exciting event. And that's it on that. So Joan, let's wrap up in a minute here. But I kind of want let's hand it to Omar, and then how about you close us out for the day?
okay, good. And then I can update everyone what I'm doing too.
Yeah.
All right,
All right.
Omar.
All right, so you can sub my channel, Watchers Talk, right here on YouTube. And January 1st, I have a event coming up that I'm working with a couple people. And we have 10 speakers over the course of 2 days. And what we're going to focus on is our intentions and our New Year resolutions. I know when people make resolutions, and I was in that very same boat. When people make resolutions, they stick with it for a couple weeks, couple days, couple months, few months, and the goal seems to fall apart, or the intention behind it seems to fall apart. So with that in mind, I thought we'll bring in some speakers and have a workshop type event, and learn different techniques of meditation, learn how to hold an intention and not to cancel that intention out and create another intention on top of that, and learn how to do some lucid dreaming, some astral traveling, and things like that. So that will be January 1st and January 2nd. And the intention really behind that is to help people hold that resolution or that intention that they made at midnight or December 31st, and help them see it through to the end of the year. And if it works out really good, then planning on doing monthly workshops with those same people that attended and other people that want to join and learn how to hold intentions. I have to say, when people create intentions, they cancel out their intentions right away. For example, we'll use something simple as an apple, where people will say, I wish I had an apple. And, 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, a day later, whatever, they'll say that they don't have enough money to get that apple, and they'll never get that apple. And thus they're canceling out their I want an apple intention, and then creating a new one by saying that they don't have enough money to get an apple, and then they'll that I'll never get an apple, and then now they've created that intention, and then they forget about it, and then they move along, but never realize that they've given this intention energy, and now it's out there that's magnetically attached to you, and it's eventually going to come back. So how do we demagnetize ourselves from those negative intentions that we've made throughout our entire lives, because they're all holding us back, each and every single one of those. So how can we detach? And that's through different techniques of meditation, self-tuning through humming and whistling, and using tone and vibration. So that's kind of what the goal is for January 1st and 2nd. And I might have another conference just before Christmas, kind of based on Christmas and the roots to Christmas, and how civilization, different civilizations celebrate Christmas, and what's behind it. So planning on that. That might manifest, that might not, but we'll just see what happens with it. So that's pretty much it. And come check out my Telegram chat room to engage with me, and check out Neil's Telegram chat room, because we're all in the same place, and Dr. Jones' chat room.
Not yet, but I'm going to have to. Obviously, I'm going to have a chat room.
Yeah.
That was lovely. I have to say this, that 1/1/2022 is a very auspicious number. It's 11222, which adds up to an 8, which is spiritual mastery. And so it's aligning body, mind, and spirit. So what a wonderful day. And all through 2022, we have those numbers 222, which are angel numbers. And so very high vibration. So I'm happy to be on that platform.
Those are my favorite numbers, 222. I've resonated with that number for a very long time, and it was part of Watcher's Talk for a long time. It still is, but it's attached to the email now. It's not right on the Watcher's Talk logo, because I see 222 everywhere. It's just all over the place, and I thought the universe was trying to tell me something, so I just kind of hung on to that identity.
I love it. I love it. So this has been a wonderful chat. So guys, I'll just give you a little heads up what I'm up to. I've been working on my soul mastery coaching program. Very excited about it. And my intuitive trainings that I have up on the website now. I just set up my very first panel that I'm going to hold with several speakers. It's going to be on how to access the fifth dimensional, I call it accessing 5D panel. And I have some wonderful speakers for that, including Celestine, that just agreed to be on it, and Victoria Reynolds and Claire Howe, who's also Angel Walk-In. So that should be great. That's going to happen in December. And coming up after that, I'm going to be offering a free 5-day challenge on how to walk your soul path, which is actually a program I've done before. And that's going to launch me in starting to do one-on-one work, events with people. Besides being on Neil's platform and Omar's platform, I'm going to have some workshops coming up in January, February that I'm getting ready for. So, guys, we are going to be live tomorrow. Yes, Neil's going to be live Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Let's see. Omar's going to be live too. So, guys, you can always check each and every one of us out to see what is going on in our universe. And we will see you again on this particular show Tuesday, not next Tuesday, but 2 weeks from today, where we're going to continue to bring you outstanding speakers that we love, that I know all of you love as well.
Yeah,
So
the next show we're going to have, Joan, is with Sheila Seppi and Alan Steinfeld, where we're going to be talking about the Walk-ins conference that's going to be in January.
Yes, and
So,
then absolutely, and
just
that's
did
going
a
to be
great
the
talk.
last Tuesday. What
I
was
just
that,
did a
Omar?
great talk. I just did a great talk with Sheila Seppi about a week and a half ago. Dove into some pretty neat little things. So if you guys want to check that out, that's on my channel. It's that was a great talk actually. I learned a lot.
I love it. Well, all right, guys. So I think it's time for us to get in our ships and head up home.
Hilarious.
Right? Let's do it, guys.
I love that. All right.
Don't forget to join PortalToAscension.
Yeah.
Join the channel PortalToAscension. Get perks, access to exclusive content. So check that out. Yeah.
I'll just throw out my goal. My goal, guys, is to hit 100,000 on YouTube by October next year, which is our live conference. And if I hit 100,000 on YouTube, the next live conference, I'm probably going to be able to do for free. And that's going to be freaking epic. So I'm really trying to get to those numbers so I can, because we create a lot of events, right? And then we have a really good amount that are just available online all the time. And every time we hit a milestone, then I'm able to do so much more. So if you guys like this content, please click subscribe and share it out to everybody. Love you all.
I love you guys too. I'm just going to say that I just reached 1,000 subscribers on YouTube because of all of you and your followers and Omar's followers. But my goal for this year is 10,000 subscribers. So if you like what I'm doing, and also I know Omar has a big goal. What's your goal, Omar?
Same thing. I just want to get 10 million subscribers to watch your
10
stuff.
million, right? That's still the
Makes
goal.
sense, dude. Makes sense.
I'm
me.
almost there. I'm pretty close to being there.
It's just exponential at this point. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, that's right.
You're right. My vision's always been to heal and inspire millions. So let's not stop at 100,000. We're going to go for the millions, guys. And boy, the extraterrestrials you'll get to meet when we get up there will be amazing.
If we get 1 million people, I'll have an interview one-on-one with an ET. No, I'm not going to make false promises. No false promises. I don't know what's going to happen. Who knows, man? But that's my goal. Eventually, I feel we can manifest a world where we can have open contact with otherworldly races, and I'm excited to see how that's going to manifest.
And when you read the Dead Sea Scrolls, they talk about extraterrestrials and angels walking right in the room with us at all times. So this is great, guys. Lots to look forward to. We appreciate your being with us. We love you all. We'll see you on the other side.
Bye, everybody.